ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। इष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter Canto 5, chapter 2, verse 21. So the verse says, though they don't have any purport, I'll just read the translation. Okay, even though there are only 3 verses left. Go ahead, Madhumai Krishna Kant Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। आग्निध्रसुतास्ते मात अनुग्रहात् औत्पत्तिकेनैव संहनन बलोपेताः पित्रा विभक्ता आत्मतुल्यनामानि यथा भागं जम्बूद्वीपवर्षाणि बुभुजुः। थैंक यू माता जी।
Thank you, Mataji. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। आग्निद्रस्तुतास्ते मातुर अनुग्रहोधौ औत्पत्तिकेनैव संहनना भलो उपेतः पित्रा विभक्त आत्मतुल्यनामानि यथा भागं जम्बुद्वीपा वर्षाणि बुभुजुः। हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Pranam.
अग्निद्रसुतास्ते मातुरनुग्रहादौ उत्पत्तिकेनैन संहन न बलोपेताः पित्रा विभक्ता आत्मतुल्यनामानि यथा भागं जम्बूद्वीपवर्षाणि बुभुजः। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Agnidhar Sutaha, the sons of Maharaj Agnidhar, they, Matuhu of the mother, Anugrihat, by the mercy or by drinking the breast milk, Aut Patikena, naturally, Eva, certainly, Samhanana, well-built body, Bala, strength, Upetaha, obtained, Pitra, by the father, Vibhaktaha, divided, Atmatulya, following their own, Namani, possessing names, Yataha Bhagam, divided properly, Jambudvipa Varshani, different parts of Jambudvip, probably Asia and Europe combined together. Rubujuhu, ruled. Translation by His Divine Grace Shravra Patshabad Ki Jai. Because of drinking the breast milk of their mother, the 9 sons of Agnidhar naturally had strong, well-built bodies. Their father gave them each a kingdom in a different part of Jambudvip. The kingdoms were named according to the names of the sons. Thus the sons of Agnidhar ruled the kingdoms they received from their father. Purport by His Divine Grace Shravra Patshabad Ki Jai. The Acharya specifically mentioned that in this verse the word Matu Anugrihat, by the mercy of their mother, referred to the breast milk of their mother. In India, it is a common belief that if a baby is fed his mother's milk for at least 6 months, his body will be very strong. Besides that, it is mentioned herein that all the sons of Agnidhra were endowed with the nature of their mother. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 40 also declares, Strishu Dushtashu Varneshya Jayade Varna Shankaraha. When women are polluted, Varna Shankar, unqualified children are generated. And when the Varna Shankar population increases, the entire world becomes hellish. Therefore, according to Manu Samhita, a woman needs a great deal of protection in order to remain pure and chaste, so that her children can be fully engaged for the benefit of human society. Verse number 22. Okay, who would like to read? I'll start. Agnidhra Raja Atriptha Kamanam Apsaram Eva Anudinam Adhi Manyamanaha Tasya Salokatam Shutibhi Avarundha Yatra Pitaraha Madayante Pitaro Madayante, sorry. Agnidhar Raja, the king, atriptaha, not satisfied. Kamanam, with sense gratification. Apsaram, the celestial woman, Purvachitti. Eva, certainly. Anudinam, day after day. Adhi, exceedingly. Manyamana, thinking of. Tasya, of her. Sa Lokatam, promotion to the same planet. Shruti Vihi, by the Vedas. Avarundha, got. Yatra, where. Pitraha, the forefathers. Madayante, take pleasure. Translation by His Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. After Purvachitti's departure, King Agnidhar, his lusty desire is not at all satisfied, always thought of her. Therefore, in accordance with the Vedic injunctions, the king, after his death, was promoted to the same planet as his celestial wife. That planet, which is called Pitraloka, is where the Pittas, the forefathers, live in great delight. Purport by His Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. If one always thinks of something, he suddenly gets a related body after death. Maharaj Agnidhar was always thinking of Pitralok, the place where his wife had returned. Therefore, after his death, he received the same planet, probably to live with her again. Bhagavad Gita also says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejate ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verse 6. We can naturally conclude that if we always think of Krishna or become fully Krishna conscious, we can be promoted to the planet of Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna lives, Krishna eternally lives. Verse 33. Sampare. Okay, Shubhara Prabhuji, go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माता जी संपरेते पितरि नव भ्रातरो मेरुदिहित्रूर्मेरुदेवीं प्रतिरूपाम् उग्रदं श्रीं लतां रम्यां श्यामां नारीं भद्रां देवनीति मिति संज्ञा नवोदवहन् हरे कृष्ण
Samparete Pitari. After the departure of their father, Nava, 9, Bharataha, brothers, Meru Dhitri, the daughters of Meru, Meru Devim, Meru Devi, Pratirupam, Pratirupa, Ugradamstrim, Ugradamstri, Latam, Lata, Ramyam, Ramya, Shyamam, Shyama, Narim, Nari, Bhadram, Bhadra, Devavittim, Devavitti, Iti does Samgyaha, the names Nava 9 Udavahan, married. Translation by His Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. After the departure of their father, the 9 brothers married the 9 daughters of Meru, named Meru Devi, Pratirupa, Ugradamstri, Lata, Ramya, Shyama, Nari, Bhadra, and Devavitti. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of 5th canto, 2nd chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Activities of Maharaj Agnidhar. Okay. मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रियै। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Okay. So, verse 21, 22, 23. Because of drinking the breast milk of their mother, the 9 sons of Agnidhar naturally had strong, well-built bodies. Their father gave them each a kingdom in a different part of Jambudvipa. The kingdoms were named according to the names of the sons. Thus, the sons of Agnidhar ruled the kingdoms they received from their father. After Purvachitti's departure, King Agnidhar, his lusty desires not at all satisfied, always thought of her. Therefore, in accordance with the Vedic injunctions, The king, after his death, was promoted to the same planet as his celestial wife. That planet, which is called Pitralok, is where the Pittas, the forefathers, live in great delight. After the departure of their father, the 9 brothers married to 9 daughters of Meru, named Merudevi, Pratirupa, Ugra, Damshri, Lata, Ramya, Shama, Nari, Bhadra, and Devaviti. Okay, we are reading from 5th canto, which is the creative impetus. Chapter 2, which is entitled as what again? Chapter 2,
Activities of King Agni.
Activity of King Agnidhar.
Agnidhara. And we're at the last part of the chapter, where what has happened? What has happened now? He married Purvachitti, and then
He lived with
9
her
sons. He got 9 sons.
many
he
years.
had 9 sons with the wife, yes, and then
Then Purvachiti retired, went back
Purvachitti
to
went
Lord
back to
Brahma.
Pitralok to worship Lord Brahma. Yes. And then
Then the 9 sons, after drinking, because of drinking the breast milk of their mother, they became strong, and King Agnidhar divided his kingdom to 9 divisions, and they ruled. And because he was not satisfied because of the lusty desires, after Purvachiti retires, he was promoted. After his death, he was promoted to Pitraloka, and the 9 sons, after their father's departure, they got married to 9 daughters of Meru.
okay, thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So you see, so we see that Purvachitti was always aware that she was just doing playing a role that was, or a responsibility that was given to her by Lord Brahma. So she was playing the part very well, but she never really hesitated. We don't hear that she hesitated to go back to the Pitralok and started worshipping Brahma again. So in that way, she has a very strong character, right? She was very strong in her notion and commitment to the purpose, and also strong in her surrender. Because Purvachitti, I would understand that also part of parcel of Krishna, also has a free will. She also has a desire, free will to desire, but she chose to desire to stick with the purpose. So that's commendable, right? And here we're seeing that Agnidhar is aware. He's aware that where she has gone, and he's fulfilling his responsibilities of taking care of the 9 sons and giving them the places to rule, and then retiring. But as he was retiring, his heart was still not satisfied. He still couldn't get fed up. He still didn't get fed up like his father. Who is Agnidhar's father? Who is Agnidhar's father?
Priyavrata.
Priyavrat. What was his first wife's name? Priyavrat's or Agnidhar's mother's name? Bharishmati? Is it Bharishmati?
Parishmati. Yes.
So yeah, so Bharishmati. So Priyavrat, because of the virtue of practicing very strong Krishna consciousness in his life, could say, you know, I have had enough. I don't want to enjoy anymore. But we are not seeing that in Agnidhar's life. We are not seeing. He still wants to. He's still sticking with his desire to go to Pitralok and also want to get reunited with his celestial wife. So he cultivates that, thinks about this all the time. And because he thinks about this Pitralok and his wife, he ends up being there. So you see, the subtle body is so strong that it can actually take us at the time of death what we are thinking. Krishna has endowed that power in the subtle body. So without Krishna's sanction, that power will not be there. And by Krishna's mercy, of course, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we are able to at least theoretically hear that. We are not taught about it anywhere. What the material world teaches us is, what is that book? The Secret? Have you heard of that book, The Secret? Like you have a power to attract anything in your life. Have you heard of that book, The Secret?
Mataji, Rhonda Brand.
Huh? Rhonda Brand, yes. Yeah.
Brand, yeah.
Yeah. So you see, it's a very famous book in the world. And the author of the book, she writes that you have a power to attract anything in your life. So if you want to be rich, the first thing you do is write a $5 million check and put it in your pocket, and you like write it to yourself and sign it the day you receive $5 million. Put it in your pocket and go around the world, because that's what you want to attract. Always think about it, always think about it, always think about it. So, well, there's some truth because we always think about where we want to be in life, to the secret, but that's not the only thing. Krishna completes the picture. So there is some truth to the secret, but there is something higher than the secret, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his agents, right? I'm thinking that what I want to be in, where I want to be, where I really want to be, where my heart is, where my mind is. I can be sitting in association of the devotees, but can be thinking of, a cinema theater, for example, or a liquor house or something like that. So am I really in the association of the devotees? Am I really present?
No, Mataji, mentally no.
So basically what I'm trying to emphasize here is that the lesson learned, we'll make a list of the lessons that we learned, is that subtle body is very strong. And that strength and that power is endowed in the subtle body by Krishna. So everything is coming from Krishna. So when we understand that it is endowed, the power is endowed in the subtle body by Krishna, then why not redirect that power in service of Krishna? And that completes the whole circle. The subtle body still remains strong. Ask my spiritual master one time, you tell me, what will you answer this? That, okay, I had the desire to enjoy separate from Krishna, and Krishna gave me this opportunity, and I fell in the material world, and has been there since time immemorial. Every life filled with so many desires after desire after desire. Now also so many desires. To fulfill more desires, we create more situations, get into that, sucked into that situation, and then more desires. So, but when you say that we go back to Krishna, we don't come back, but the free will is still there. So that means that there is always a risk of desiring the same thing again. Like, I don't want Krishna to be the enjoyer. I should be the enjoyer. So that free will is still there. No, I can still at some point redesire what I desire and come back to material world. Is that true? Is that true? I asked this to my spiritual master. What will you say if this question is put to you? Because the free will is still there, the power in the subtle body is still there in the spiritual world or in the material world. Is the question clear? You can raise your
Yes,
hand
Mataji.
and okay, go ahead, Shubham Patil Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, it is true. We'll still have that choices, and we may can again desire to separate from Krishna. It can happen.
But then how does Krishna say that whoever comes to my abode doesn't return to this material world where repeated birth and death takes place? Now, how does he say that? Never comes back. Tyakta deham punarjanma neti mam eti. So Arjuna never comes back to this material world because the free will is. So how do you like bridge that gap? Okay, I agree. Shubham Patil Prabhu, with you that yes, we can redesire what we desired for our initial fall down. But then how do we explain that Krishna says this assurance is there that you come back and you'll not come back here?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Rupa Mataji.
I think he means even if they are in the material world, they still don't belong here. They are here on a mission. Like Prabhupada was here, he had something to do and then he went back. He never belonged to this material world. He was always transcendental. Is that what it means?
No, well, that's not what the discussion is about. The discussion, that's true. That's not a false statement, but that's not relevant to what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is I've raised this question in this assembly that the free will is always there. The power of the subtle body to desire is always there in the material world or in the spiritual world. Now, the initial reason for our fall down in the material world, as we understand from Guru Sadhu Shastra principle, is because I desired something other than Krishna. I decided I should be the enjoyer. I should be Krishna. Why Krishna is the only enjoyer? Okay, then boom, you come to the material world, now go through different species, lifetimes, times, so many things, and try to enjoy. But now somehow, you get shaken up that, okay, this is not working out, I need to go back home. And then my question is, somebody who goes back home or goes back to Krishna, can they re-desire to not to be with Krishna again?
Envy. Envy, because of
So the
envy.
can means the answer can be yes or no, not the reason. Can we re-desire to come back to the material world again? Shubham Patil Prabhu said yes. So now the other part is that then, but Krishna gives this guarantee in Bhagavad Gita, Takta Deham Punarjanma Neti Mam Iti. So Arjuna, whoever remembers me at the time of death comes back to me and does not take birth again in this material world, right? Or never comes back to this material world. So when he uses the word never, then how do you bridge the gap that we still have power, we still have free will? Can you do that or no? It's okay to be wrong, but participate.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
We have that free will, but that free will, if it goes along Krishna, along the desire of Krishna, then will not come back again, Mataji.
So you're saying that I still can, despite of spending so much time in the material world, I go back to Krishna, and as long as my free will is aligned with Krishna's service, I'm okay. But I can still
Yes,
pull the strings and come back to the material world. Okay, thank you. So I'll tell you what my spiritual master said. My spiritual master said, yes, the free will is always there. Yes, this condition, the minute soul, part and parcel of Krishna, can again desire to come back to the material world. Yes, despite of going all the way back, you can still come back. But then my Guru Maharaj said that, but you will not do that. I said, why? Your free will is there. Why? He said, because you have had enough experience. Krishna will give that memory. You see, he gave example, if somebody is frying puris in a very hot oil, and somehow the person is not careful in frying the puris, and the oil spills on them and they get burned. The next time when they'll fry the puris, will they be extra cautious or no?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. It
Yes,
happened to me.
Extra cautious.
Yes.
Will be extra cautious.
So Guru Maharaj said that, so I felt so relief, after he said that. Yes, you can come back. Yes, but you will not come, but you will not choose to come back because that memory will be there. That material world is a horrible place. I don't want to go there. He said any pure devotee does not really want to come to the material world because it's a horrible place. There is only forgetfulness of Krishna, and nobody from that place likes to come over here. Good. Prabhupada's pastime, which is very famous, when Prabhupada was, I think he was in Lucknow or somewhere. This is book called What is the Problem by Shruta Kirti Das. What is the difficulty by Shruta Kirti Das, who spent time serving Prabhupada in the last 2 years as his personal servant. I think I read it there that he was writing that Prabhupada was getting massage in the evening one evening, and it was very heavily raining outside, extremely heavily, like tornado. And Prabhupada suddenly started laughing. And then the devotee asked Prabhupada, like, what is making you laugh? Prabhupada said, I can see why I am in the material world. Said, in my last life, I was a very good doctor, Ayurvedic doctor. I was very Krishna conscious. I had a guru, and I served my guru to the core of, to the utmost, with the utmost sincerity and dedication. But one day, my guru said it was raining, and he said, go outside and kill that snake. So I went outside and killed the snake. So I did a offense. I did this. So now I can understand why Guru Maharaj made me kill the snake, because that one thing made me take another material body. So deep, huh? Tattvadarshis can see so much. So, but they don't, otherwise they don't want to come here. Nobody wants to come here by choice. For a service, they can come, but by choice, like we want to go to Krishna by choice, but nobody wants to come to this place by choice. And people who are here are trying to stay here by choice. You see the irony? Devotees who are with Krishna, don't even want to look. Material world, people with stinky bodies, their bodies stink. They get old, they get diseased, they die, they meet death. That's how they look at us. And and they don't want to come to this place. Would you like to go to a place, if you, let's say you're living in a place which is very well landscaped, very nice garden, very clean air. Now I tell you to go and live in a place where it's very filthy, there is all dumpster everywhere, the trash is scattered everywhere, people are running here and there without any purpose, and ask you go and live there. Would you choose that place consciously to go and live there?
No,
When you already have a chance to live in a place which is so nicely enamored.
yes.
So understand that subtle body is powerful. And when the subtle body becomes, when we say it is becoming weak, what it means is that it is desiring, it is using its power to something other than Krishna. That's the definition of weak mind. Okay, a weak-minded person is a person who is using the power of their mind. Power of the mind is thinking, feeling, willing, right? To something other than Krishna. So that person becomes weak-minded. And but that weak-minded person also has this strength of desiring whatever they're desiring. So now they get another material body. So it's dangerous. That's what is happening with Agnidhar. But because Agnidhar is not an ordinary person per se, because his father was a pure devotee, because his uh, son Nabhi is the first son. What's the name
Yes.
of the
Yeah.
Nabhi
Navi.
will marry Meru Devi, and Nabhi will do austerities to have Krishna as his son. So now Rishabh Dev will come and save everybody, basically. You see, Krishna is so active in our life. Krishna consciousness is the only place where I found God being so active in my life. Everywhere else, it's more or less like God is there, I'm there, and I have my own life. And thank you for being there. But but Krishna consciousness is the place where so much like active involvement in each other's life. Devotee is so involved in Krishna's life, Krishna is so involved in devotee's life. A devotee's life is revolving around Krishna's service. What time to get up, what time to sleep, right? What to eat, how to talk, whom to associate. This is all revolving around Krishna's life. And Krishna, in the same way, is depending on how much we are invested in that relation, is also honoring that. So there's so much of involvement. So Krishna is not going to leave this guy. He's going to go back ultimately, even from start jumping from Earth planet or jumping from Pitarok planet, but he's going to go back. Like that, we all will go back. Sooner or later, the journey has already started. Somebody will go back sooner, depending on how committed one is. Somebody will go back later, but we are going back. That is for sure. Okay. Questions, reflection, realization. Otherwise, I want to do the reflections of this chapter. Question, reflections, realizations, corrections. Anybody?
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Purvajitni actually comes from Brahmaloka, no Mataji. Brahmaloka, from Brahma center.
Brahma has
The
said,
desire of
it's not mentioned that she comes from Brahmaloka. It's mentioned that she's sent by Brahma. Where does it say Brahmaloka?
because she was there with from his loka, he has sent it to something like, because now we see that she has gone to Pitruloka, and Aryama Agnidhar also goes to Pitruloka. Pitraloka is different from
This
Brahmaloka, Nama.
is the yes. So this is the verse. Understanding King Agnidhar's desire, the first and most powerful created being of the universe, Lord Brahma selected the best of dancing girls in his assembly, whose name was Purvachiti, and sent her to the king. Lord Brahma could
So it is
understand
from
this.
Brahmaloka.
No, where does it say? Because Brahma is the creator and all the planets are under his supervision, directly or indirectly. But where does it say that she's from Brahmaloka? It
One
says
of
that
his
she's
dance.
gone. No. I don't understand in
Okay.
that way. I
Okay.
because
He was one of the best
yeah,
dancers.
Brahma was pleased. He
He
sent.
mentioned it in Mataji in Sloka 3 that
Where is
this Apsarasa belongs to his Sabha, in his assembly.
so Brahma's assembly is not limited to Brahmalok. Brahma's assembly is limited to all the he's
Mean to
supervising.
say that's why he could meet her in Pitraloka. Okay.
I think there's a difference in understanding. It is very clear that she went to Pitralok because it is mentioned like that. The language is very clear, right? So we are understanding an extracted meaning, but this language is very clear that here Prabhupada is writing it very clearly. In accordance with Vedic injunction, the king after his death was promoted to the same planet as his celestial wife. So Maharaj Agnidhar was always thinking of Pitralok, the place where his wife had returned. It's very clear. So there is no need to understand an extrapolated meaning because this is clearly written here. Who went where? Okay. Rajya Lakshmi
Okay.
Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, you gave us the example that Prabhupada's master asked him to kill the snake when it was raining.
I read it, yeah.
Sorry, I lost the network in between, Mataji. Can you please
Mataji,
explain
you can
what
watch
happened?
watch the recording. Watch the recording. Okay.
Sure,
Let's
sure.
go
Thank
for the benefit of the time. Now I want to hear reflections from all the devotees here. What did you learn from this chapter? What is your personal application from this chapter? You could raise your hand or unmute or write in the chat. And then I have a question for all of you. What did you learn? Nothing? Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
I like that sentence. I like that paragraph where King Priyavrata makes one more chariot and to fulfill the desires. I mean, there was no less light wherever there was less light.
Mataji, for
Wherever
chapter 2. Very good. I appreciate what you learned. But this is from activities of Maharaj Agnidhar.
Okay.
Asking. Tell me what is your reflection from this chapter?
He wanted to go to Pitraloka and serve his parents, so he desired.
So what did you learn? What is the application in your life from what you heard the past time? What is it called as? It's called as
Whatever you desire to fulfill that desire, you have to walk on that path. If you want to go to Pitraloka and serve your forefathers, then you have to do the austerities like that.
So approach higher authorities to fulfill the desires. So you're not independent in fulfilling the desires.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
After hearing the activities of Maharaj Agnidhar, thinking that why we should think of going to Pitraloka or any loka. If there is a chance of going back to Godhead, if we are approaching Krishna through our spiritual master, then we should not desire to go to Pitraloka. Think
Okay,
like
very
that,
nice.
Mataji.
You're bringing a very nice point. Thank you. So basically, desire management, not become desireless, but manage the desires for the ultimate cause. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Shubham Patil Prabhu, what did you learn?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanak Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, when Prahlad asked, like, can you please forgive my father? Then Narasimhadev told that not only your father, 21st generation of yours will be get liberated, but still here in this case we can see Agnidhara's father was very good devotee, we can say, but still we can have uh, other desires, lusty desires, and still we can go to other planets. So we need to very क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ध्यान रखना चाहिए हमारे डिजायर्स के, यहाँ पे डिजायर पे हम किसी भी मतलब हमारे पूर्वज कितने भी बड़े डिवोटीज हो, फिर भी we can go to other planets as well.
Oh, very nice. So one has to fly their own plane. Very nice. Thank you. Very nice. So, okay, so depend on one's own, what do you say, practice of devotional service. सही है ये, Shubham Patil Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Madhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it's like importance of purpose where like sense object should not come in front of purpose. Like this body should not utilize in temporary cause. Like it should be used for only Krishna consciousness, Mataji.
So one has to develop strength to, what would you say, to stay focused on purpose?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Madhumai Krishnakant Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I liked that Purva Chetti's role, and she played her role very well in the material world. She lived with her strong will, and she brought her children in a very responsible manner. And then she retired and surrendered and went back to Brahma in a perfect way. She did her job. This was what I liked.
Very nice. So Purva Chitti taught us how to develop. This is called rational detachment. I'll look up the word rational detachment. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Anyone else? Anyone else? If you learned anything?
Mataji,
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
What did you learn?
See, we have given a small independence. That independence should be properly utilized to go to a spiritual line instead of asking for the material desires in this
Yeah, so I think this
Dukkalaya
has been
world.
said.
So this
Desire management
already
will
desire,
be good.
of course. Oh, they have
Thank you.
given. You have put it like that.
Very
So
nice.
that is the star.
I appreciate that so many people are learning the same thing. Really, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I learned aversion to fault finding. This is what I learned. Like, there's no reason to look at Agnidhar as a person at fault, you know, because as I keep saying, there's not much difference between his life and a life of um, a sadhaka devotee, you know, person who is still practicing rules and regulations, has not become perfect. So there is no Agnidhar. I don't see Agnidhar at fault. Do you see Agnidhar at fault? Do you see him at fault? Is that what your vision is?
No, Mataji, he was not duplicitous. He was, to his desire, he acted accordingly. He went to Brahma for his desire. And then whatever, when Purvachitti came, he expressed his, whatever way he wanted to marry her, he expressed boldly. So he was not duplicitous. He was very expressively expressive.
Yeah. So give me an example of a person who is at fault from the Shastras then. Who is duplicitous, who is at fault. Give me one example.
Ajamila.
Ajamila was at fault. Was he at fault?
Jada Bharata.
Jada Bharat is how? How do you say Ajamil is at fault? 1 second, Prabhu. Madhyama Mataji, how do you say Ajamil is at fault?
He was he was a well qualified Brahmin, but he got attracted towards the prostitute.
And then he practiced what he felt like practicing.
And he fell down all the things he went wrong.
I guess fault is that fault is basically what I'm thinking is a hypocrisy. I am portraying myself as a very elevated devotee, but I'm doing everything which breaks rules and regulations of spiritual life in my private zone. That's fault. Ajamil didn't do that. Right? Ajamil didn't do that. Ajamil was practicing sincerely until he was practicing, and then when he fell down, he fell down. And he led the life of a person who has fallen down. So he's not being a hypocrite there. Somebody who's a hypocrite, give an example. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhu, how do you take the name of Jad Bharat in that context?
Because he was in a spiritual line doing all austerities. When he during the sannyas ashram, he was in love with the deer, So while dying also, he was thinking of that.
That's not Jad Bharat. First of all, that's not Jad Bharat.
Oh,
that's
correct.
Bharat Maharaj. And
Bharat
second of all,
Maharaj.
it is not fault because when we hear the pastime of Bharat Maharaj, he was practicing all the rituals in his ashram until he developed his attention and affection for the deer, the baby deer, right? The doe.
Yeah.
And when he developed that attention and affection, he stopped practicing. It's not that he kept on showing himself as a very big devotee, but inside he was just, flowing in the love of this deer. It's something like in Manasiksha, we heard an example of donkey urine, bathing in a donkey urine. That's fault. Prafulla Mataji, yes. Prafulla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vishwamitra Muni and Saubhari Muni.
Vishwamitra Mani was at fault. How? When he got attracted to Menaka, he did not portray himself as a very elevated devotee, did he?
He was in meditation and he broke his meditation.
So how is he at fault? I think you guys are not understanding the meaning of the word fault. What I mean by the word fault is hypocrisy. You see, it's like one second, I'm portraying myself to the world as a very elevated devotee of Krishna, always merged in Krishna consciousness. But when I am in my own space, I am doing everything that is contrary to Krishna conscious principle. So that's hypocrisy and that's a fault. There is a difference between fault and fall down. Okay? Yeah, Rupa Mata.
Romaharshana Sutta. He portrayed himself as something very elevated and he was speaking very elevated matters, but he could not actually, offer any obeisances to Balram ji.
Remind me of the pastime. Was it a demon? I'm not able to recollect that pastime at all.
Romaharshana Sutta was actually, he's Suta Goswami's father.
Okay.
And then when Balramji entered the assembly, everyone offered obeisances, and this person was sitting on his, beautiful chair, didn't even offer any respects to Balram. So Balram thought this is not going to happen, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not different from Krishna, and he wanted to teach him a lesson, and he killed him with a kusha grass.
Yeah, that's okay. We can say that you're thinking yourself more than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, despite of knowing that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Somebody took name of Saubhari Muni. How is Saubhari Muni at fault? Who took name of Saubhari Muni? No, okay. I think I'm becoming more critical. The one name that comes to my mind is Nalakuver and Manigriva. When they saw Narad Muni, they are sons of Kuver. They are in Kailash. Their father is associate of Lord Shiva. They have to have Vaishnava qualities to be over there. Now they are at fault. First fault is that they were trying to enjoy with other ladies naked in the lake in Kailash. That's first fault, despite of knowing that this is not right. Second fault, they did not cover their body when they saw Narad Muni. Third fault, they did not pay their obeisances to Narad Muni, but they knew that they have to do that. Okay, that's a fault. That's like conscious fall down, not unconscious or subconscious fall down. Okay, so we can build on it. We can build on it and discuss, because when Krishna says aversion to fault finding, it doesn't mean that we don't say a thief is a thief. Prabhupada mentions that in Nectar of Instruction. But we don't go and start finding a needle in a bunch of hay, what all things you have done faulty in your life, which means hypocrisy in a way in this language. Because Agnidhar is fallen down, we are also fallen down. Is there anybody here who hasn't fallen down? Following 64 principles given by Rupa Goswami perfectly day after day, every single day, including the deity worship. I was worshipping my deities today and I was thinking, my God, I do so many faults, so many mistakes I do. And the problem is I know that I do because I know how to do that deity worship, but I still don't do the way I do. I should be doing. So it's like, but you're so merciful. When you tolerate that, laziness and gap from my service, Krishna still accepts that somehow. I don't know how. Okay. Any questions, reflections, realizations